League of Legends players do not know how to talk crap at all. You know how to be toxic towards yourselves and your teammates, but you have no idea how to get in the head of the other team. Somehow, an entire generation of video game players grew up missing COD lobbies. Just were never part of them somehow, which by all means you avoided some ugly parts, but at the same time you missed the ability to actually get yourself in the weeds and know how to get in somebody's head. Which is funny given that the LCS tagline this split is talk your split. It's all about crap talk, but League of Legends, and the LCS most notably, have very PC, kind of watered down trash talk relative to, say, Call of Duty, who a week ago now, Optic Gaming won their Call of Duty championship, their second ring, which cream wall, freaking let's go. But they put on a masterclass all weekend of teaching people how to actually talk shit in game and out of game. Let's start with the basic examples. You have the, of course, you choke. You can level it up a little bit with a little you suck. And then you go a little bit further. You flick off the enemy team. You let them know they're trash.
Third time was the charm. There's your upset. And Allen, Texas, it may be an Optic event.
But it's not just limited to the other team. It's also to fans.
To get the last laugh, it's the biggest beef and the best rivalry from all year long.
Both of these teams with a lot to say and a lot to prove.
Bro, imagine that happened in League of Legends. Riot would have a heart attack. Fans would have a heart attack. Oh my god, people can't even tolerate booing Faker. We'll get into that in a minute. But a world where a player flicks off fans whenever the fan, I mean, in this case, the fans were mostly with him, but he saw an Atlanta FaZe fan in the crowd and flicked him off. Hey, I respect the hell out of it. You're there to entertain people, and that's ultimately the underlying factor, but that isn't where we stop either. The last one requires a little bit of context between two players' girlfriends. You have Keeks, who's the girlfriend of Draza, a player for FaZe, and then you have Scraps, whose girlfriend, I cannot remember her name right now, but she's not a big fan of Keeks, nor is pretty much the entire Call of Duty community at this point. She's got a very controversial past, and she lets people know it, which, hey, you want to put yourself out there on the internet? Fine. That also comes with people pushing back. So these two have had a very public rivalry for quite a while, and the league got in on it.
That's when things become a problem, like we saw yesterday. We'll see if maybe you'll get something better here.
Just some family members and friends.
Oh, they're best friends, best friends.
Yep.
Catastrophic, dude. This is insane.
Wait, go back.
This is insane. This is insane.
What the fuck?
This is insane. Yeah, what's going on here? What's going on here? Why are they showing this?
Why is this a thing?
What? Why are they showing this? That is awesome. That is disturbing. That is disturbing.
That makes no sense.
That is fucking awesome.
Now you might think, okay, well the broadcast showed it. That might be a little bit disrespectful. Would the guys be okay with it? Would the guys want to do it? Well then Scrap then stands up and makes it a point after game 2 and when they win the series to specifically call out Keeks.
1 versus 2, not gonna happen. Ultra dominating.
They're both walking down together. Let me see.
Come on, fight. Oh, I think he's pointing at Keeks. Did he? I think he's pointing at Keeks. Did he? I think you had. Oh, what is going on here?
It's done. It's done. FaZe are out. Ultra win.
And the crowd went nuts, as you could tell, for this entire thing, because it's all about the drama, and it's all about the entertainment. Like, sure, high quality gameplay is great and you want to see the best possible competition there. But at the end of the day, you're there to watch the show that the players are putting on in front of you. And part of that comes with the entertainment factor. Call of Duty gets it. They always have, they always will. Whereas League of Legends, there's always this kind of sentiment around the community of we should be promoting the highest possible standard of play. The best League of Legends to watch is the one where everybody plays perfectly. It's like, nah, the one that's best to watch is always going to be the messy one with the most amount of drama, and the intensity is there. Which is why when the conversation got brought up about booing Faker and people having an issue with it, I was confused. Now, granted, I'm a Northeast fan, which for those of you that are not from the United States and not from the Northeast, you might not know, we boo the shit out of everybody. It's just what we do. LeBron, doesn't matter, boo him. Messi, we'll boo him. You could be the greatest of all time in your individual sport. We will still boo you to try and get an advantage and get in your head. But Kadril was not a big fan of this. Kadril notably spoke out against LEC and K-Corp fans who were booing Faker at an exhibition match, which, sure, I'll agree, exhibition match, not a sanctioned competition, a for fun thing that Faker's coming to help grow the game, sure, fine. But the point still extended where people don't believe you should boo Faker at all, to which I heavily disagree. I would boo him in a heartbeat, but it's not just my opinion. Let's hear from the pros.
I read a bit about it yesterday, yeah. When I watched like LCK Live, for example, I just watched Kato stream.
Yeah.
I was a big Kato fan for a long time. Now he's like huge. I still watch all his like when I'm watching LCK Live, like you know on the weekends it's at 11 p.m. for LA time. So I watch like the first 2 games on his stream, then I go to bed. So yeah, I heard him talk about it a little bit.
The question I have for you then, like I'm a Call of Duty fan. I just watched one of the players get up on stage and literally shush a player's girlfriend in the crowd. So like for me, booing Faker's nothing. Like that to me is like sportsmanship. Like you get out there, you boo him, but at the end of the day, you'd still have a beer with him afterwards, and like it's GG's no matter what. Is there a problem with booing? Like
I feel like booing needs to have a reasoning behind it. Like I played football, what Americans call soccer, for like my whole life, and like I can understand that when you are like not on the home ground, you get booed just because you're the enemy. I get it. I think it's kind of cringe, but if it's like you're watching Manchester United against City, there's gonna be boos. It's rivals, right? I get that part, but I feel like that the incident was at the show match, right? That happened in the off season.
Yeah, where there's no meaning behind it. It's just like a for fun.
Yeah, it's like I feel like T1, the most popular team in the whole world, traveling to play against. I don't want to say like a bad team in KC.
No, it's the truth. Like whether they want to accept it or not, it's true.
Right? I do feel like it's a bit weird that they boo a team that just won Worlds, who's probably the most content-heavy team in Korea, probably the team with the most tight schedule in the whole world of all teams. I think so, right?
Yeah.
It does feel a bit weird that they boo them for coming so far to give you a show on your home ground, right?
Yeah.
A privilege that KC might not ever actually have, you know, playing against T1. Like at this point, right? It doesn't look like KC will play against T1 in a real match at any point.
No, probably not.
So it's like that feels a bit weird to me, but I also don't think it's that big of a deal, you know, to be honest. Like I didn't watch it live and think, that's kind of cringe. I was like, whatever, you know.
It's one of those where I'm thinking like if you guys are ever playing against Faker and like obviously group stage, the stakes are a little bit lower. Swiss stage now, stakes might be a little bit lower. Maybe it doesn't call for it, but like the second you hit knockouts, I'm booing the shit out of Faker the second he walks out. Like anything that we as fans can do to give a mental edge to you guys and like try and be like, oh, Faker's walking. It's like I'm not used to getting booed. It's like, yeah, that's the whole point. You're not in an environment where we want to make you comfortable. We want to give an edge to players if we can, in any way that fans they have the ability to control it.
It's not really my style. I don't like it personally. I feel like having respect for your opponent is also cool, but I feel like the thing people don't like about it isn't that KC fans booed Faker. It's all the other things, and that's just like that might just be the straw that opens the conversation. But I don't know. I don't really care much about this kind of shit, to be honest. So
that's fair.
But yeah, whatever.
I would say go check out some of the highlights from Call of Duty Championships this past weekend. It is a whole other. Yeah, it's ongoing right now. Yeah. It is a whole other world. You got players flicking each other off after every series, like standing up. And it's just nuts.
I watched a bit of NBA, and there was this one guy who said that a guy who he beat was his idol, and it showed clips of him on the pitch, or whatever you call it, calling him a fucking pussy and like sit down, like old man type shit. And after the game, he wins. He goes on the press interview, says like, yeah, that's my fucking goat right there. That's my idol right there, you know. But NBA is just the name of the game is just go on stage and be like, shut the fuck up, little bitch type shit. So
It's that Mamba mentality.
I feel like it's more about like the environment, right? League isn't really that kind of game. Hasn't been for a long time. So it might be out of place, but I don't know. Do whatever you want, It's like, whatever.
I mean, Zven is ultimately one of the big heads of trash talk when it comes to the league, but there is nobody bigger than the face of the entire campaign itself in APA. And while I love his trash talk, it still does have a little ways to go. And I actually got the chance to try and push him a little bit on it.
Well, I think there's two aspects of it. If you're trash talking like player to player, like I personally want to get in their head a little bit about it. So like, I was typing a little bit today. So I don't know if it actually worked because I wasn't like fully committed to typing. I didn't really type that much. Only like 1 or 2 games. Like I just want to get in their heads, but from like entertaining, from like I guess like entertainer perspective, you just want to entertain people because I know they do show like the stuff we type in all chat on stream. So there's just like 2 aspects about it.
You've never had like the urge to like stand up. I know you're one to typically like get up, run off the stage real quick, and like go to the next thing. But you've never had the urge to like pop up and just let somebody have it at all.
I wish I could, to be honest, because I know like I watched some Valorant matches. Like I watched VCT. I know like a whole bunch of the Valorant pros do that after like they win a round or whatever. I think League just has too much uptime. Like let's say when I solo code Jensen today in game 1. I have to clear the mid wave, find a spot the base because I don't think I knew where Ivern was, and then like base, make sure the base goes off safely. And if any of that gets interrupted, my tempo is super messed up. So I have to continue to pay attention even after I get the solo kill. So there's just not a whole lot of time, to be honest with you.
I guess people think more of it like after the game. Like after game 1 of this series, you guys beat Dig. Like why not just like pop up over the stage a little bit, like let Jensen have it a little bit, like chirp a little bit in the same way that like you would for like all chat, but in person.
To be honest, that is a good point. I don't know why I don't do that. I just haven't thought about it, to be honest with you.
If you want to study some film on it, watch Call of Duty Championships from just today. Like you don't have to go any other day, just today. To give you context, a player, his girlfriend was beefing with a girlfriend of a different player. He gets up in front of a packed arena of 75,000 people, points to her in the crowd, and shushes her and cries her after a game in the middle of the series. It was like,
that's pretty funny.
We have never seen something like that in League, but it's like, I do wonder how, like, obviously Call of Duty players are a different breed, but like whether that would translate ever over to League or whether it's just like a step too far.
Honestly, it's something I just haven't thought about. Especially since we're in like best of series now. It's definitely something that you can do, especially after games. If you win, like do whatever you want to like flex on them or something.
Yeah.
It's worth to think about. I'll think about it tonight.
Now, does this mean that we're gonna get elevated trash talk to the levels of Call of Duty and League of Legends? No, definitely doesn't. Like overall, the personalities in the space are just not like that. We are not that type of fandom, and I don't know if people in the League community are ready for that yet. Maybe they will be one day. But if we are gonna do trash talk, we should at least step it up a little bit. And based on the conversation with APA, I have a feeling that might happen at some point. We'll get there, slowly. But COD is the gold standard, and don't let anybody else tell you differently. Maybe Gears of War, they pop off a little bit harder, but that's a whole other conversation for a different day.